start cover play. Again, just forcing PaperX back. Gen G, do they choose to actually commit towards the mounds this time?
स्वागत है भाई लोग का on the stream guys. बहुत दिनों बाद फेस कैम लौड़े जैसा है मालूम है अपना कैमरा छूट गया अपन कौन सी फिर से है sorry guys.
Look at the flight path from Texture, a little bit dismayed, but still Karen able to go in deep enough with the stinger. Divide holdout from Waterfall, but it's just a little bit of damage. The Steel Garden pushes them away. Gen G should be able to get the spike down.
Yeah, buys time for the spike to get planted here at the moment, but you still got to think about the close proximity because these stingers, there's 3 of them in play. Well, now 2.
With a little bit of a hold from Gen G. Yeah, the stingers, even phantoms as well. It's really strong at this range, but still a bit of a swarm from PaperX themselves. Will be able to find that bit of an opener. However, the survival smoke on the side definitely cordons things off. Texture able to hold it all down. Spots out Jing as well. Munchkin denies PaperX any joy in this round.
Yeah, big force buy from Gen G. You know, they've already seen what PaperX are liking to do around the mound control at the moment with trying to set up Forsaken a little bit forward on this waylay, take the space, because Lotus is, you know, one of these maps rather, that a lot of teams are generally taking either rubble control, especially in Teo Breach meta, or you're taking some mound control, and waylay just adds a little bit of a different flavor towards how you go about that. We already have seen PaperX go for mound control with the waylay, and we've seen Forsaken, when he sees a little bit of util or a couple of bullets his way, he immediately refracts out. So I like that Gen G have just figured this out within this game and wanted to challenge in towards the C-side with that lesser buy.
Yeah, they've always been so strong on the trades, Komodo. And right now, being able to play alongside PaperX's pacing, especially with that waylay in play. Viper's Pit will deter Gen G currently from pushing into C again though, so trying to sneak their way over onto the A site. Got Munchkin leading the pack. What are PaperX doing?
I mean, there's nobody at the A site, and I don't think
you're
really going to expect that.
Short A 4 second. अरे पर 4 second ये कट्टी एजेंट क्यों खेल रहा?
Yeah, I see that.
Raze ही best है इसमें तो.
They're close to the ultimates, I want to
say.
Guys? So possibly a bit of a retake play from PaperX, but Gen G, they're making use of the space. They're holding downstairs, and that could allow them to do a little bit more damage. Forsaken though, will look to get ahead.
Yep. Gone for the plant, converted pass on in, combo a lot of this utility.
Nice
well, convergent pass
slow motion में
continuing to creep up front. Looks for a bit of support, and that's going to be another frag. Divine picks it up instead. Karan now trying to hold it all by himself, but Forsaken has everything. Down pat, kill in the round for Forsaken.
It feels too easy for him sometimes, doesn't it? When he's just going around, shooting, taking the lead as well.
Deliberately leaving A open.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you want to, you know, you've got a Viper's Pit over at the C site, you're having a couple of bodies behind it, because you do have to remember the composition that Gen G are playing. They've actually got a lot of drone ability that can kind of, you know, sniff out what's happening in the pit, right? If Ash's Prowlers are thrown on in, or if you want to get just the boom bot from Texture, you know, these are the kind of approaches that you could get in towards the pit and look to get through it.
So being able to understand what Gen G are looking to pull off, PaperX are able to find some counters, and right now with the 3-stack into the A side as well. However, Gen G slows down the pace. Forsaken looks for the trades. We'll be able to find Munchkin. And with the saturate as well, look at that. That's how you use the
Gen G suggest.
Takes down Karen.
Balls, Baba. Pathetic, Baba. Pathetic balls.
For the team currently. 2 kills in this round, and leaves Ash alone.
Just the Sheriff. See if you can get anything here.
Pathetic, Baba. Pathetic.
Pathetic. Couple of ults invested. Don't get me wrong. You know, the Armageddon for Dubai. Technically, one might argue that wasn't really needed, but when you feel like there might be some more members of Gen G, it's okay. There's still some more depth in this map to go that you might even be able to get that one back, and you're always going to be incentivized to try and help Forsaken in this kind of moment, right? Because he's feeling it. He's on one. He's feeling sharp. He wants to go for these jewels, and you absolutely cannot blame him.
Not only do you not blame him, you might even admire him. I mean, this is starting to look like PaperX from 2023.
Well, the biggest thing for me right now is coming in towards 2025, right? We've got PaperX who are experimenting with a lot of these different role changes, right? And we've got a Gen G who are bringing in Suggest, coming back, making his return to Valorant. We're bringing in Ash from, you know, the Tier 2 challenger scene where he's stepping up, right? We're trying to figure out what is the new 2025 identity for PaperX? What is the new identity for Gen G in 2025? Where so far, we're looking at a Gen G who are kind of trying to play their style that they were in 2024. And that's, you know, kind of the reason that I attribute their loss to Boom a little bit, right? Where Boom had a really solid idea on how they wanted to try and counter those plays, get up to those choke points and explode straight in towards the sides, especially on that ascent where you could look to kind of just abuse Suggest a lot. Right now, he's playing in a way that he's getting a lot more backup and it's not really being afforded, right? And he's also getting really dirty in these duels on the attack side. So this is a really good little switch up for Gen G, figuring out their own weaknesses. And on the side of PaperX, they're stepping it up as well, trying to activate Forsaken. So we are seeing a lot of growth in 1 week of play between both of these teams. And it really comes down to that time out there. Who is it going to favor more right now? Because we are getting towards the tail end of this map.
Drone के जैसे जा रहा रे.
Forsaken pulls out the op as well.
जाना भी Silong देखना.
Forsaken
Silong देखना please.
He's going to be able to plant himself towards
हाँ
B.
गया अरे timing.
At this current point in time, if you are Gen G, I mean, I highlighted a little bit earlier.
लगा देता
one
ना.
of the good strengths on this map when you are playing a comp with a Viper as well is being able to reposition anybody behind the wall, whether it be into the open like we saw from Mindfreak earlier, or on a standard line to situate an operator on the correct line. I'm assuming that that's exactly the right timing on the wall to reposition Forsaken, and then the rest of the team goes elsewhere. So they're playing, you know, strong side with rifles, operator on weak side, and now you know where it is. So does that give Gen G enough of an incentive to come and face the operator, seeing nothing from the Prowler towards A, or are they wanting to go to the C site where, well, there's a couple of bodies here?
I even want to question who is on the operator. If anything, they swarm over on towards the C site now. I just heard them counting down 1, 2, 3, and there's the execute. In with Texture, but still the aftershock of all things finds Karan. Smoke's gone. Showstopper might have been spent, but Texture in towards a deeper spot. In with the Rolling Thunder, though.
Something.
Along with the other teammates will be able to swarm the site. They've got everything covered down.
Balls packed.
7 seconds left. The spike has already been dropped. This round is over.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gen G didn't do enough around the map to really bait out a lot of the utility from PaperX.
Balls packed.
Still got something with a lot of his breach utility. You still got like you've got everybody on PaperX still with a lot of that utility. That if you're looking to go into the C site sub 30 seconds and you're trying to set Texture up to Showstopper in, you know, you're trying to get a flash in and everything. Well, you got to remember, this is VALORANT. This is a game that is still a gun game, but abilities are quite destructive in this current meta, right? And you have to be baiting them out early enough.
And I think this answers your question as well. 2025 PaperX plays with utility and an op and a slower pace, being able to control around the map this way off of slight timings or 30 seconds off for Forsaken repositions. Early round, Forsaken positions himself again.
But
this time,
though, yes.
This time it's quicker from Gen G, right? Up towards the A site with an idea that they can get in and clear tree with Prowler, standard utility to get on up. You'll still have to start to clear the site with the rest of the utility, however, but you've got an early C flank that's already noted.
Yeah. So it's a great read from Gen G to be able to throw PaperX off.
Do they pit?
Good question.
They do.
Right time as well. Salvos will break the door. And the question is, does PaperX have the retakes?
Oh, but Suggest is going way too deep. They might expect this, they might not. No, they probably won't expect this one right now.
Depends on Suggest's timing. And with that, Suggest was able to turn around at the right moment. 2 kills. Texture holds off the top heaven as well. Just Forsaken and Divine. Shouldn't quite have it. And no, they do not.
Shot.
Suggest.
By shot.
Even more dirt into the wound, and it stings. Divine now, the only one left, looks to hold on to his weapon, but not even that. Karan snuffs it away.
Yeah, that Viper's pit at the tail end there. You know, the entrance in towards A covers stairs, covers any baby door entry in towards the side as well. It's a pretty destructive one when you consider how much utility you'd actually need to throw in there to kind of get in. And then you also wonder, well, it's a single lane. Anybody that is spotted in that pit, well, you're assuming they're just going to get sprayed. So really well done from Gen G from the beginning of just getting rubble control in towards the A site, seeing nobody home, having the, you know, new round though. 4 stack for PaperX towards the A side, an early duel potentially here.
And what could be one of their very last few buys. Gen G picks this up, it's going to be map point, so hopefully the stack helps them out. It's Forsaken up to the top of Rumble. Ooh, finds Texture, but still the sprays from Karen over. Steps way past them, finds the quad. Jing, Divide, they all got blown apart. And it's just Mindfreak left to pick up the pieces. 3 pieces.
अबे ये तो हगा रे.
Slowly.
Jing हगा.
Looking for some placing back into the game, but still, it's Gen G. They have so much that they can do.
At this point in time, it's just on Gen G to not make a mistake here and give this round over towards Mindfreak that you've got to consider as well. Does he go for this?
Might try. It is 10 and 11.
It's a Viper though.
Yeah.
You have to. Your only efficiency is going to be on your tools.
Team map रे भाई heaven तो भी रहना.
So
ये टट्टी map अगर खेल रहे तुम ना.
Cold right now. Got to do everything. As soon as he gives even a little peep, Munchkin will silence him. It's Gen G up to map point, and they are feeling way more confident.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this Gen G at the moment has an idea of how they're wanting to play this map, right? They've done their homework, they've done their preparation, they're having some really good mid to late round calls, and even some great early calls. I mean, you know, Kara, right? Once upon a time a rookie in towards it, we're wondering what is he going to look like in his Valorant endeavors, and he's coming out with now, you know, we're calling him, you know, one of the pivotal core members of this award-winning roster in Gen G, like. He's certainly stepped into it. He's the one to get
it. Shrouded steps his way all over. Calls out a desperate timeout for PaperX. I mean, those war cries, man, I'm telling you, they are something.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. And if you are PaperX at the moment as well, you know, what are you trying to do, right? Like, we're seeing some great duels being fought by Forsaken for sure. We're trying to see all of this utility to help set him up and everything, but when he's losing his life and your early round game plan isn't going your way as PaperX, there's nothing to really reactivate back for them currently.
And this is where I really do wonder what it feels like for the players on that stage right now. You are PaperX. You started out incredibly well against DRX last week. Just to kind of throw that all away. Now you're very close towards pushing to an overtime right now as well. But do you have it? Everyone's eyes in this stadium, even right next to us. The analyst desk, their eyes are all glued to the screen right now. And they're all wondering, does PaperX have it?
Yeah, I mean, you got to consider the weight behind the names, right? PaperX, Gen G, Staples. And right now, Jing, I was going to highlight him, who's having a bit of a shocker to the fact that he's found an opening kill here.
Repositioning as well, something that a position that Karen has played before. This time we see a little more of it from Suggest, but he's working. Jing is working alongside Mindfreak to anchor down the C site.
This is a really stretched wide default as well. Right? So what can Texture find over towards this A site? What timing can he kind of coordinate with this Viper utility? Ask for Munchkin, wall up, wall down, try and clear a lot of this space, which is just a double hold at the A site at the moment.
For PaperX though, the opening kill has already thrown a wrench into their plans, but Texture, look at that. The sudden peek out, even with a high low, to find the frag. That just might open things up. Off of a little kill, PaperX now peels back.
30 seconds left.
Divide. The salvos now as well. Can you combo them with anything to ensure a kill, or are you just using them for the time? It has to be a little bit of the latter.
Not unless you can allow for Forsaken to get it somewhat, but Forsaken's pinned down by Texture on the A site. It's just down to Divine and his teammates to try to hold it off. Convergent paths, but no, it doesn't quite connect until Forsaken pushes up with Jing. 2-on-1, does Ash have it? Low HP, Jing gets destroyed. Forsaken now out from Baby Door, makes a bit of a footstep, out with the Phantom, goes
what the fuck?
Crouches down, finds the headshot, the triple in the round, and bringing us to the final destination on Lotus, 13-10.
Very well played from both teams, I gotta say. We had some really great moments of these teams showing their new character in the server, but at the end of it, I mean, how many occurrences did we have of just multi-fragging rounds in a row from Gen G, right? They closed it out with 3 in a row there. 13-10, it's not the most comfortable win. A win is a win to start off.
Fracture
This
एकदम blender map पे वो हार गए थे हम
your
लोग.
own map pick as well, right? We had weaknesses shown from PaperX, though you flip it on over and Fracture's around the corner.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty tricky to say the least. I mean, some great performances, you know, some improvements coming out from PaperX, but it still leaves us a little bit wanting. Gen G, on the other hand, significant improvements coming out from the likes of Ash and Suggest. And not just that, for Texture to be able to step up as well. I mean, he's found opening duels on the defensive side. It's Ash and Suggest to be able to anchor certain sites.
Yeah, I think for me, one of my worries for this roster in Gen G at the moment was how are you incorporating Suggest, right? How are you looking to get him to bounce back from the last series? They're still a phenomenal team with a really strong structured core 3, but bringing in him, bringing in Ash, there's always going to be question marks with these rosters, right? I think that Suggest has just found things that were really working for him on that map, that he can bring elements of that into this next map as well.
And it's just so incredibly strong for Gen G. They must be feeling a lot better as compared to last week. But speaking of how things feel, I really do wonder what it feels in that PaperX room right now. But before all that, we've got to toss the question over to our desk. We've got coaches on that staff after all, so tell us what it all feels like after this first map.
What it all feels like? Well, I think things went pretty okay, actually, for PaperX and for Gen G. Both of them playing far better than they did last week and during kickoff. And yeah, it did come pretty close. So Quack kept asking how it feels. How does it feel?
It feels tense. Like, losing map 1 is always scary. I do think there were signs of improvement there for PaperX. I thought in particular their defender side was stronger than last week, but it wasn't quite enough to get it over the line because their attacker side didn't look as good this week. Gen G also much more solid than we saw in week 1. As the caster said, special shout out to Ash and Suggest. I feel like they were both actually present in the game this time and able to kind of hold their own.
Yeah, I felt like Gen G really wanted that one. We could hear how loud they were getting.
Oh, they were screaming.
Yeah, we were on a completely another floor to them, and I could hear them getting rowdy. So they really do view this as an important game. They're trying to get themselves pumped up, and you saw some good moments. I mean, this was a phenomenal game from Caron, and you know, this is a map where your Omen can have a lot of impact for you, and he's really able to positionally play very well for Gen G, particularly on that attacker side. Had a couple of very impactful multi-frags. Totally agree. I think Suggest in particular really impressed me. You know, I felt like, I mean, I mentioned it in the pre-show, I felt like he was a bit of a liability on the Cypher on Ascent. He very much did his role here on Lotus, and he played the Senti role on the Vice very well, not only on defense, but also on attack. So, great game from him. I think Forsaken is showing really, really good signs on Waylay. He seems to consistently find impact, and I think particularly with the ult, he's hitting a lot of people. He has a really good idea of how to use it. I really like that Waylay ult we saw down C long, where he's able to just kind of dismantle a whole setup with a Waylay ult.
Yeah, they definitely have good ideas with the Waylay. I've been enjoying watching it. It's just a shame it's not quite getting them over the line.
Yeah.
I do think what's also funny with Suggest in a way is that you could clearly see PRX's game plan was, let's find Suggest. Let's run a Suggest. Wherever he's going to be, we're going to take it to him. We saw them go C and B at the kind of start of that game a lot. They were avoiding A and really trying to find Suggest. And, you know, if somebody's disrespecting you like that in the server, there's only, you know, you got to stand up to bullies. He has to put a stop to it. And he did that. He did a great job of, he was able to hold down his sight. He was able to anchor, and he forces PRX to pivot, change their game plan. So I think he did great that game.
Yeah, he did. In fact, let's rewind, speaking of the beginning of this match in the first half, on the second round of the anti-eco.
Yeah, I mean, second round, the force spike comes through from PaperX, and this was already kind of some worrying signs for me. I see the Waylay double dash into sight off the back of the Teo drone. Something stuns Forsaken. He dies for free, and then Mindfreak does this, a double kill through the smoke with one clip of a stinger, and all of a sudden this round goes into chaos. So some of this individual brilliance from PaperX really did some wonders in some of these rounds, but there was also some shakiness, and you even saw it in that last round with the clutch that Ash was able to pull off. They really weren't always on the same page, PaperX.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job.
champion bhi hai na
get the force buy ready to go was great. Now, this was a great anchor from Suggest. I think this is what I mean. They were trying to punish him, but he found that gap. We know with Waylay that you're going to be... you have to have everything covered, so Suggest understands that and reads it. This was a different little wrinkle that we saw PRX at. We said we wanted to see them be more aggressive on their defense, so he's running down C and refracting away on pressure. Ooh. And this, of course, is that ult that we spoke about. This is the best team at getting value out of this ult, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I totally agree, and it's such a impactful ult when it does hit, because you're basically useless if you get hit by that Waylay ult. You're gonna basically be a liability, a sitting duck that really can't move anywhere or fire back too much, and you can see just how easy it is for Forsaken to roll back on through with that retake and complete it with relative ease. MVP goes to Caron. I think the best player for Gen G in kickoff, undoubtedly, and in that opening series he had one pretty good map, and then he had one map where he was kind of struggling. So I think Caron, up and down, but still well and truly shows the potential to be the best controller in the league, and can very much just win you on that when he's feeling himself. That crispy aim, the good old dot crosshair that always seems to hit the head, and the multi-frag potential, and positionally he's always just so sound. Like, he understands exactly where he is in the round and what he needs to do.
He's so comfy.
Oh, DC also decided to watch.
Gen G have played so much Lotus. He's been on Omen for like all
आज मोगा मौत का तांडव
होता understands his role in this map brilliantly.
अच्छा गेम
He's
खेलते
in
दोनों
the
तरफ
right
से
positions. He knows the TPs. It's a joy to watch him play, and I'm glad that he kind of... This map, at least, was a little bit of a return to form for him, so nice to see.
It's actually remarkable that he was the rookie last year on Gen G, but now he feels like a fundamental being of Gen G. He's so important along with texture there, and he does keep it up. Like you said, there are some inconsistencies, but he always, in the end, does step up. Now, Fracture is going to be the next destination, the next map, and we know PaperX is pretty good at Fracture, and Gen G wasn't looking their finest.
No, definitely not. The Gen G game against RRQ was one of the games where I think they got smacked the hardest in kickoff, and they were playing a mirror comp in that regard with the Sova. I expect them to change their comp and probably bring something new, particularly with Aston Suggest coming into the roster. And I wouldn't be surprised if PaperX changes it up either, because they played Fracture in kickoff. They had some success, but they have been playing a lot of Waylay lately, so that's something we could see them play again here.
Yeah, we haven't seen this from either team in Stage 1, so I think whatever preparations they will have made, we haven't had a chance to see it yet. And there was a big enough gap because they did go into Smash. I think changes should be expected for both of these teams. As you say, PRX historically quite good on Fracture. It is a map that suits their style well, but
आज तो कौन सी कैसी पीछे है अरुण जेटली
That's true, and role changes too.
Yeah. I mean, this is where I want to ask the question, right? This is a Raze map. Is Jing going to play Raze, or is Forsaken going to continue to play the Duelist? Because he's played the Duelist every single time for PaperX so far. Is Mindfreak going to be on Brim, or is Jing going to be playing on Brim? Because he's been playing that controller role, and who's going to be on the Senti? You know, is it going to be Mindfreak, or is he going to have to let someone else play Brimstone? I mean, Jemkin makes Brimstone look pretty easy. Just throw a Duelist on an iPad and then let him just frag out, right?
I want to see Jin go onto the Brimstone. Moving your Duelist across the Brimstone is a very easy transition.
The match will be played in Visakhapatnam.
You drop your util and then you're able to go freely into the site. You're lacking the kind of nuance in a way that something like Omen has, where your paranoia is a hugely valuable bit of util. There's the recharge on the smokes that you have to manage. Brimstone, it's drop and go. Then you become
you're a man with gun. You are just a man with gun. You're a little toy soldier from that point in the round. Don't think about anything. Just do stuff.
So I do think Jin could do a good job there. So I like to see that.
I like that idea. That could be really interesting, and almost without a doubt that both teams would be reshuffling things a bit. I'm of course curious how Gen G will be changing things up. You were already shocked that they changed their Lotus up a little bit. I wonder if they'll be doing the same for Fracture. But I know PaperX, they have evolved, adapted Fracture over the years and have generally been fine. So what's Gen G going to do? I'm pretty sure they want to close this out 2-0.
That was
PaperX
good comeback,
is a tough opponent.
Yeah, I think honestly, Teo inclusion, I don't expect like the overall structure of the comp to change. Like, I don't think Gen G is a team that's going to flex into double duelists and change the roles up hugely. I think it will still be on Suggest on some kind of Sentinel. Ash, I mean, I probably don't want to see this over again. It didn't work for them so well last time, and I think maybe it might have been a comfort pick of Yeoman as well, to be fair, to some extent. So look, I think breach KO and just keep things simple, put texture on the Raze. Gen G is that team that I really do just expect to play whatever the meta comp is, whatever there's a high percentage shot comp is on the map.
Well, we are about to find out what these two teams, Gen G and PaperX, is going to play on Fracture. Fracture is just one of those maps. They say bangers on Split, but I think it's the same case for Fracture, and things have definitely changed up.
Yeah.
The neons are in. We're not getting Raze on the PaperX side either.
Yeah, Gen G, I mean, Texture was fantastic on the Neon on Haven the other day. Suggest not so much on the Cypher, so hopefully he's feeling a little bit more comfortable going into this one, but they are playing Breach KO instead of the Sova.
PRX opting to kind of stay with this format with their compositions. We do see Jing on the Brimstone like we spoke about. I think this is a better role for him, and I think he should have an improved performance. Forsaken staying on that duelist with the same core supporting behind. Mindfreak staying on the Sentinel. We've been asking for consistent roles on PaperX forever, and they seem to be delivering now.
Yeah, this is what they're going for, just uniformity in terms of the roles, so we'll see if that is going to be something that's going to work for them, because a lot of people are going to be seeing Jing not on Raze on Fracture and doing a bit of a question mark here.
Well, PaperX does come from a duelist core here. Quack, who casted some of PaperX's earliest game, might remember Forsaken being a primary duelist, and it looks like that's the role here. We're going to go into map 2 and send it to our casters Komodo and Quack.
Oh yes, I very much so remember that, Victoria, way back in like 2022. Now we're getting to see more of that right now on the stage, but at the same time, you know, just thinking about how all of those results from the very first map plays out, Komodo. I mean, you saw that shot of something with his eyes closed in that chair.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a lot going through your head in this sort of scenario as well, but you do have, I guess, one saving grace that you're going into your own mapic choice, right? So we're looking for something new from PaperX, where they're running this T1 comp. So are they going to be able to draw some little parallels from that position and apply them here?
We'll see if that does pay off for them, but right now, just a
shot Jingu shot
outside of bench in Arcade. Jing will be able to find one off of the little exchange, though. Just a full dump of utility, and right now, a bit of an aftershock to allow for a peak, but Forsaken will still be able to rear his crosshairs around. Push up as well until he gets taken out. All that said and done,
meanwhile, suggest by at the
past defender spot.
Yeah, but is it going to work for anything? That's the problem right now. You get an idea from Mindfreak that eventually the lurk is going to be there. 1 versus 3. I mean, both of these guys are low. But if you're just playing the numbers, you're doubling up and maybe not like gonna get clattered.
Hopefully
not.
High-low. Oh God, they got away just in the blink of an eye to set up for the fault line. So just stays tucked away. You know, PaperX, they still have the spike.
Reposition again, go for another high-low.
Again a high-low, and there it is. Forsaken to pick up the pistol round for PaperX.
Yeah, more multi-frags come through from Forsaken. If this is, you know, one of the new looks of PaperX where we're actually finally getting structured roles and stuff, it is, you know, down to this comfortability factor, right? When I'm thinking of this roster, Forsaken, you know, on the duelist again, okay, that makes sense. But for something as well, right? How is his breach looking like? Because that's seemingly becoming one of the more common picks for him. And I mean, I think his caliber of play, he's going to make any agent look, you know, kind of above average. But for breach, you know, to set up this team, he really needs some great timing to really be consistent.
And that's where it does get a little bit more tricky to be able to pull off these plays, but at the same time, Gen G, okay, just picking up the alt orbs right now.
I do like that. I mean, Fracture, there's 4 of them. It's not a bad idea.
Pac-Man.
वो स्पॉट नहीं होता ना वो रे
Jing.
जाल मकड़ी जाली
मकड़ी
की जाली स्पॉट नहीं होती ना
There might be a lot of them on the other side, as I say, he does go for the swing. Finds Ash, though, not too shabby.
Yep.
And smokes it off.
I mean, we heard it on the analyst desk, right? Switching duelists onto a Brim when he's not on the iPad. Just point and click. At the end of the day, Valorant is point and click. Just like that.
Just like that. Second kill found in the round. Gen G still in the same spot as before.
Smoke bhi nahi de raha
Mindfreak chiming on the other end, but Gen G with the information that they had from before, trying to look for the pinch against Jing.
Knife gun.
Texture will find it. That's not too bad. In the pistol rounds, able to
Knife
find a
gun
bit of
जा रहा
damage
हूँ.
against
Ola.
Paper X. That's a couple of
तब भी
rifles
रे,
lost, but still, of course, Paper X will pick up the round.
I was going to say, nearly a flawless anti-eco, but getting a little bit too ahead of
इतनी
themselves.
बढ़िया कह
Paper X now, they're going to have to, you know, fashion out some good defenses in the 4-lane map. You know, one of the things when it does come towards Fracture as well is you got to think, right, are we using the likes of a Vice Wall to be kind of a glorified alarm bot, right? Are we looking to just
Oh my God.
position, going together?
It was the last bullet.
Yeah.
Jeez, Louis.
क्या बोलते हैं
Alright,
उसको बोल
well, now we've got the
चेन ना
buys.
चेन बोलते हैं ना उसको जिब
Gen G start with 3 north side,
Zach
2
है तो
south
zip
side.
बंद कर रहे
Paper
थे.
X pushes out alongside the stealth drone. Stuns and relays suggest trying to stay
देखो मालूम
alive.
था ना गया बोल के
Just
मारना कहीं भी गोली
deserts him. But with that, a bit of information and a timed read as well, Gen G will be able to push into the B side, blocks them off of the angle with the salvos as well. Will they have the spike plant off of this?
Oh, but will you expect texture to
This is
already
Sonya.
be pushed near spawn? The answer
Oh,
is
oh,
that is so
Texture, why you?
And this round is actually turning on its head.
Oh my, what happened? With that though, Karen left to kind of fill up the blanks. He finds a bit of a double, but still
टेक्सचर भाई
nothing much found.
नहीं
After that, Paper X will be able to find those trades needed to pick up the bonus.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these common things that we are seeing in like Fracture when you are running this. It's something that I think Vice Comps can do quite well, right? If you are just considering the shear wall's versatility when you're using it as a glorified alarm bot over towards dish where it more commonly is.
टेक्सचर भाई क्या हाल है
Punch on the south side, the attacker side, spawn side of things, and taking tree control, it kind of does make sense when you consider this composition that Paper X are running.
So hoping to expect more of that. You are on the defense, and you do need to get proactive. Swapping onto different sides, though, and now hearing a lot more pressure. Again, back in towards bench. It's up to Mind Freak to hide with this Vise. He tries to reposition himself. There are a lot of smokes up around the site. Pushing out, though. Jing will be able to find the first frag. Denies a little bit of entry, but still, Gen G pushes past tower. And that's Mind Freak gone.
Oh, they should have heard him.
Stingers and everything.
Shot
Yep,
ray,
a bit of
shot
noise as well, but for Forsaken.
Shot ray for
This nasty relay bolt slides forward as well. Looks for the third, but Texture answers back. Low HP, but still a doable one-on-one until he throws out the fast lane. Something. Timed peak finds the 4th round for Paper Rex.
Just wanting to really get dirty with these duels. I mean, it was working how many times over on Lotus, right? Setting up for Forsaken for multi-frags upon multi-frags. He's just getting comfortable back in his own element. You've got, you know, a lot of these smokes that they're playing around with. You don't need to keep it
वही स्लाइड करके गया ना अच्छा वहाँ देख अब देख
chaotic around the side as well, right? Just get the gunplay happening, and it's working a treat at the moment for Paper X.
और स्लाइड तो करा ना
I think one
शुरू
of the
में
things to really consider here is we've seen 4 rounds, pretty much 4 different ideas. So they're really, you know, trying to explore and keep things guessing.
अल्लाह फोर्स बाय कर दे फिर से भागते
Well, Gen G looked to deal with some of those concerns early on. Wow, rolling thunder straight into the B site, but Forsaken has kind of gotten away because of that sprint. So back in towards the safety of Generator and
Shot!
Something will be able to find a spray through the smokes. And now for Karen to try to hold, he's able to find the microflick, snaps back onto a Texture, chiming in as well from Canteen. A bit of a swap around in positions, and Paper X are now finding themselves a little bit dazed and confused. Flashpoint out, but Spike not yet planted. Gen G a little bit pinned down as well, Komodo. Still though, Paper X trying to reposition themselves into sight lines. Karen and Munchkin find the frags needed to put Gen G on the board.
Yeah, Orbital Strike is actually quite big there for Gen G. It doesn't net any kills, but it buys some time and it buys more importantly some space. That shot to come through from something was absolutely ridiculous, by the way. But the fact that there's some multi-kills coming out from Karen, some aggression through these smokes, some risks being taken for the side of Gen G as well. But ultimately, right, a bit of a reset when it comes to that 55-second mark. Munchkin, Karen, they don't overpressure themselves, right? They don't push forwards and just try to get this round done and dusted there, and then they reset a little bit. And now you're switching into a new round where there's tree control back again. We've got the shear wall up at dish to just make sure it's watching it. This worked for Paper X last time, remember, and it's gorgeous to start off yet again.
head kai sare
The camera and the trips. Paper X are still moving forward. just double keying it
1-4.
as they've been known to do. Suggest tries to avoid by tucking himself in towards a main. Gen.G looking to recollect, regroup themselves, and re-engage into the A site.
Yeah, just to recontact back in towards it as well. Go through the shear together, try and explode on in. Bit of a contact play up towards it, but now I foresee the problem, right? You've got into the site, the spike will eventually come from Dish, because I think even the shear wall, by the way. You go for the plant, but you've already got a PaperX that's here. That is ridiculous.
Just as you thought that they might have been able to get closer into the site, Karon into a deeper position, wipes the taste of blood off out of his mouth, and finds punches back against PaperX. A bit of a flashpoint as well, and all of a sudden, Jing needs to turn his crosshairs away off of contact now. Karon swinging as well. Divine needs to save.
Yep. Oh! Not even going to be able to. Some aggression from Texture. Carol, by the way, 1 HP to survive with that one. But, you know, 2 rounds attributed to Gen.G. Multi-kills for Karon, getting 2 kills yet again to really get them back in towards this round when you consider, you know, PaperX, W Gaming straight up in towards the spawn, looking for it, just over, just not really, you know, calculating that they're going to be over all the rafters. So, nicely done for Gen.G. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if we want to take a bit of a timeout for PaperX soon. It wouldn't be too bad. You know, you don't want to afford Gen.G to get a wriggle on towards this attacking side. This is the round though that's haphazard, right? You've got some exit strategies if you need to stall Gen.G, right? Oh, that's unlucky.
Yeah, not quite. Not really able to stall currently, and a lot of oohs and ahs from the crowd as well with the war cry from before. But as I say that, Mind Freak, a bit of a push out from Dish will be able to pick off an unsuspecting Karon. That just might have splashed a bit of cold water onto Gen.G.
Not able to retrieve the gun though, unfortunately, for PaperX. So we're just going to see some moments of individuals here. See if anyone else can get some sharp shots. And I mean, if you're going to be tempted whatsoever to use a couple of these ultimates that PaperX do have, you know, one kill, one more kill, maybe you're going to dump them in, especially if Gen.G are going to try and play for the time here with their recontact back towards this A site.
Grouping up onto it. Utility now for the execute, and especially with Texture on this Neon, able to get deep behind enemy lines. PaperX nearby, salvos on both ends, fault line as well. But the orbital strike has been avoided. That is huge for Gen.G. 20 seconds, and with enough numbers, they could still get the spike.
There's still an Armageddon though. You have to bait out this Armageddon. There's 10 seconds and it's just going to be thrown in.
Trying to get their way through. Armageddon now deployed. And with that, no spike plant found. Gen.G able to strike back. PaperX out of position. All the kills found in the round.
Yeah, not playing for the actual timing that the Armageddon can buy. Everyone trying to face the fights when that ult does go on down.
Oh, PaperX.
It's at the cost of, you know, all of the ultimates being invested in that one as well, right? Orbital Strike, Armageddon, Steel Garden. A discussion now.
You might need a timeout off of that.
Oh, 100%. If you're not taking a timeout at this point in time, yeah.
But what do you say in this timeout? You got a minute. Surely you can't reprimand the players for this. Oh no.
I mean, you gotta think for PaperX as well, right? What's been working? Some tree pushes where we're getting really aggressive with Forsaken. We're getting some great shots coming out, and for Gen.G, we've seen, you know, a couple of moments from Karon who's been able to answer back, right? We're seeing them re-clear things after some early engagements. It's a slowdown effect for Gen.G where they're really starting to play with the time, right? It's the old Gen.G style of you've got a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it's the beginning at the moment that PaperX are winning. It's just the end that they're not able to.
That's what it is. That's always been what it is. Think about that 10-13 from the first map, that 8-0 against DRX. I mean, the PaperX fan in me is crying, but the professional caster in me is trying to say, Gen.G is just doing such a good job of recognizing PaperX's tendencies.
Well, the professional in me is saying that there are so many moments that we're seeing really good growth scenarios for both of these teams that, you know, this is the caliber of gameplay. Had they come out in the first week, would have been cool. Right now, though, a lot of utility around Arcade. No casualties just yet.
Until, you know, more flashes over. PaperX still looking a little bit antsy, trying to hunt down for some of these frags. Jing from the other end will be able to get that pinch up against two players. Texture, though, deep in towards tunnel, still looking to get his way out. He's gotten away with a couple of kills off his own.
Yeah, that Rolling Thunder actually out from something, not able to finalize Texture. You had the north side wrap crunch from PaperX, where now, let's flip it upside down. Let's see Gen G do it.
They're trying to pull off one of their own, but mainly the objective of the round, the spike being dropped. Gen G needs to come back in to take these fights against PaperX, where PaperX are trying to retain their hold onto it. Jing has a full kit of smokes, deploys his first one.
The problem is, Jing can just reset them yet again, more so than Caron, so you have to go for an aggressive peek. Mind Freak gets bit.
Getting a little bit too curious, and you know what they say happens to that cat.
30 seconds
Want
left.
the corpse. Give me the corpse. 20 seconds, give it to me!
That would be huge for Gen G now, wouldn't it? Something still close by. Finally, being able to get detected, still finds that frag. Jing off of the other side of the boxes, finds Caron. Able to save themselves in this round, 5-3.
If Suggest was able to get off the neural theft, you know, would that have been a different ending towards the round? Would you have been able to start to spam through the box? Look, I don't know. It didn't happen. And PaperX, the early idea of getting the early aggression towards Arcade, right? What did we just speak about? The beginning they've looked good in. It's the end that they've not really been able to finalize in those past couple of rounds where Gen G were able to string them together. This time, they were able to solidify the end of that one and hold on towards the lead.
Yeah, pull themselves back a little bit, hold on to that spike. Still though, the next round, Gen G will answer back with a little bit more aggression of their own, so a bit more space now, back up towards Arcade. Possibly looking to get tower, but not quite yet. You've got Suggest all the way down tree. He might just get pinched though.
Yeah.
Not quite in the spot to use the camera, and with that being taken out, now he knows.
Yeah,
has to regroup.
He knows his time was coming, but at that point in time, he's bought enough for his whole team to get in towards the B site. Nobody's home. There's no ultimates that you need to contend with on the side of PaperX, and you yourselves, well, hey, let's just have a little bit of a dance with our big ones.
Take some big steps.
Let's go!
Throw PaperX off balance. So, but PaperX able to have some steps of their own as well until the Armageddon gets deployed. So PaperX needing to avoid that for now. Timer still ticking. Something though, his position could be pivotal for this retake. Flashpoint does buy a bit more time.
Let's go!
A bit more presence being made known, and Jing pushes up. The trade found by Suggest. Fault line set through, but it's going to be Munchkin that finds the trades right back.
Let's go, come on!
Swings out from the left side. Still more frags found for PaperX to stick that defuse at the end.
A lot of the trades coming on through. I'm seeing a huge rat through spawn from something, not able to assist his team, but eventually will come forward, and the 1 versus 1, he will best counter breach.
A bit of a counter breach, counter play. And it's that early aggression that has been tampered with.
Always like seeing the replays as well, and how everyone's just moving around the map like Fracture as well, with all the different corners that you can play with and corners you can hide in. Never want to overlook them, which is going to be a big one right now, because if you're seeing this Sands control in towards A main for PaperX, they're going to have a potential massive wrap back towards this tree area again, where Gen G are looking to slowly go in towards.
Like you said, you know, that's what PaperX has been good with, the early start. You know, some of these wraps, we've seen them from the past 2 rounds now on opposite ends.
Oh!
Now, a bit of a different pace, and it's a sudden peek out from Jing. Surely aware that Gen G are trying to pull off the B-split once again. The aftershock from something.
Yeah.
Forsaken now from the back, and all of a sudden Munchkin and Karen need to watch out for many angles, trying to backpedal themselves into towards tunnel, but PaperX just relentlessly chasing them down.
Yeah, unfortunately for Suggest there as well, the aftershock, he was not able to get out of it, and even throwing his hat in the ring, the neural theft to try and get all the information, well, it didn't really work out, right? A bit of a different look for PaperX, because they're not really aggressively getting A main control this time. They're just going a little bit slower for it, clearing it out with the stealth drone and then getting the wrap later on. So I do like that they themselves have some different, you know, fast takes, slow takes in this map of Fracture.
Sometimes it's that variety that really throws off Gen G's expectations. Once again though, Gen G trying to go for the same site, 4-1 split this time.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Mindfreak to be able to bunker down this B site by himself at the moment. Spotted out behind Ice,
Nice
but
one.
self-sufficient.
All right, now to reposition
Ooh.
against Texture as well. The overdrive will come in handy, but will it be enough for Gen G to truly get their way in? The shear wall does buy a bit of time for the rest of the PaperX faithfuls to transition their way across the map.
Are they going to be aware of this top north side flank too quickly? I mean, you've not tapped your camera.
Gee.
With that, just does allow for PaperX to truly get in. Suggest, unfortunately,
Nice.
a little bit of a ball being dropped. Still now, Munchkin very much so alive. Hit by the fault line though. Jinx trying to hunt him down.
Oh.
Up for the one-on-ones. Munchkin dances around the boxes,
No.
and something will be able to
Oh,
surge
yeah.
forward with the shorty, but the Red Bull clutch found by Munchkin.
Yeah, he answers back this time, able to win the 1 versus 1 against something, not drop it when really Gen G needed to find something, right? You're starting to see PaperX get a good grasp on this defensive start from the beginning of the half, a couple back. You got Texture going in with the ultimate. He's on relatively low HP, but I gotta wonder as well, right? On a map like Fracture, if you're playing a Cypher and you've got this really standard camera towards the north side, if you're not being proficient enough to check it whilst also layering in towards the side, I mean, getting snuck up on from north side, that can really hurt, and a lot of the fault becomes your own on that.
It's still something that needs adjusting.
Yeah, but
Of a different role.
luckily enough, Gen G were able to still win it in the end.
Yeah. Especially with Munchkin being able to pull off the clutch. 4-7, maybe even 5-7.
Ooh, this would be really interesting for PaperX if they do want to rip it. I mean, there's 2 players here.
All they do. Something that
Walk out.
pulled off before the waylay from last week, but here it goes. In with the frags and in with a lot of space being found and collected. Mindfreak even able to anchor down the B side as well. Everything going right for PaperX in this round.
Absolutely. 2 versus 5 for Munchkin and Caron, and well, now just make it 1 in Munchkin.
Off of a bit of a timing, Mindfreak repositions into tower. So that's going to be now just Munchkin
You would
in
need
Canteen.
you would need a generational fumble from PaperX here
Well,
to be able to win this one.
I know we say that, but it's like
No. It's not going to happen.
generational
30
fumble
seconds
and a
left.
miracle. What's the story this time, Komodo?
Story? There isn't one. It's fine. There's no fumbles here. 8-4 half is really good from PaperX, I will say. Enough to set themselves up for the attacking side when you do consider that Forsaken has been, finding his groove on how to play entry back in towards this roster, right? Waylay play was actually looking a lot better, even if there was, some little fumbles on it, but on towards Neon, right? Is he going to be able to do a little bit better than Texture was able to do here?
We'll see once we swap over onto the second half. At least in the beginning, I mean, so far they were somewhat
Waylay
evenly
play
matched.
was actually
It's just after the little bit of a timeout from Alex that PaperX began to find their footing. Like
looking
you
a lot
mentioned, it's
better,
all of
even
these
if they
early round aggressions, and PaperX have begun to tighten some of their plays a little bit more, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Gen G running one of the more common comps. You see a lot of teams run this one for a specific reason, right? No one really playing in towards the Vice with this assortment of agents as well. So we're going to see, hopefully, Suggest not be a bit of a weak point as well for them.
He was good on the first map.
Yeah, that is 100% true, but changing it on towards the Cypher, there's a lot of pressure on him to make sure he's getting assistances, and for Ash as well, what's his utility combo is going to be looking like playing on this Taeho with Munchkin as well.
Both teams kind of finding themselves into similar positions or similar circumstances. See how it all plays out in the second half. At least though for Gen G, 4-1 stack closer to the B site.
Yeah, we're going to have just another go at Arcade.
Let's go, guys. Easy.
Let's just restart the map.
Yeah, if we take a look at the heat map after this map, I mean, that's where all of the X's are going to be. Gen G in with the 4 stack. Oh, the salvos though. Okay, a bit of fault line as well, but Texture just able to sidestep off of it. Counter fault line as well. Karen coming in with a frag of his own. PaperX trying to call off the hit.
Yeah, now there is only Ash here, so if you are able to best him, that would... Ooh, nice shot coming out. Yeah, corner of the wall. They'll get all the information, though, that Dish is still being played, so you've overwhelmed Ash, but already the rotation here for Texture.
Look at Texture, kicking things into high gear, already into the site. Bit of damage found, but still the spike planted, and that would be nice in terms of economy for PaperX. That said, Gen G still looking to find this retake through A main. Interestingly enough, they make a lot of noise around the door, but with force in numbers, the flashes as well, they will find these 2 critical kills just to Vi left. He might have the salvos, but I don't think he's got enough in the frag department. Has to peek out, but he's being smoked off as well. Reloads, repositions, but Foots has been spotted, and that's gonna be Texture with the triple in the very first round in the second half.
Yep, good idea at the very beginning of the round, right? You use all those combos of utility to gain some arcade control, and it goes 2 ways. You win the duels and you gain the space, or there's no one there and you gain the space anyways, and then you look for a wrap somewhere else, right? One of the big common things, especially on a pistol round, where you can play your breach flashes as well on top of those sewers. Really sharp shots to come out from them in these pistol rounds, not leaving any corners unchecked. Comes a little bit unwinnable for Defy. So the way back in towards this map at the moment to bring things closer, pistol round towards Gen G. But for PaperX, I mean, we saw this in map 1 when they did get the plant down on the attacking side. They forced up.
Oh yes, they do. A lot of noise made already though, and Gen G will be happy to dump their utility right back into the choke point, and allows for Texture to reposition himself so comfortably. The triple found, the spike has been dropped. Munchkin right around the corner as well, alongside Ash with the Stinger and the Spectre. Just Mind Freak. Full HP, sure, but 5 opponents off to the other end. Okay, we're gonna start things by opening up the door. That's a bit of a bold move. But a move that gets trumped nonetheless.
Don't need hard analysis in that one, Quack. That's just Texture shooting with the Guardian, with them all flooding out of the dish, of the drop. See it back again here. He does work around that wall and the pillar of the side quite nicely, but I mean, everyone just getting activated. That's a force buy for PaperX not going their way. So if you consider the next time they're going to have their proper weaponry, well, it's going to be the round after this next one, and then you're just knocking at the door of PaperX, right? Trying to equalize things.
It's PaperX home.
Well, they have been so far.
Oh, we still have yet to see them in this second half. I gotta say that. Salvos right now for early aiming control for Gen G.
Can you find an opener, steal a gun, make things, you know, one step more promising?
Still the utility dump. PaperX trying to find some headway, and it's going to be Forsaken in with a adding some assistance as well. Jumps on over, low Munchkin, but Karen finds a tap.
That's silly. Honestly, that is absolutely silly.
Still a bit more space though, and look at Jing, swaps over, hands the Bucky back in, and up around tower. Now Munchkin a little bit afraid to push up front.
They know they tagged Munchkin as well. They know that.
So they're happy to stick around the corner, overstay their welcome as it were, because Gen G, there's no chance in hell that they're giving PaperX the boot. Suggest though, it certainly will try. So taking down Jing, but you've got 2 left. Something holding up by drop. Nasty flick. And you've got a bit more utility as well, but that's not needed. Defy in with a Guardian. What a round by PaperX.
Yeah, that's a funny one, right? Who would win, the Bucky Boy or all of these, you know, better weapons? The positioning though, I mean, Ash was stunned up, so you got to give credit for that one, and then just mechanics on the ropes as well, juggling over different weaponry for PaperX, but getting in, right? They're hitting the funny shots. They're then settling themselves down, and the eyes are certainly on the prize. You know, it went from let's find some damage to hey, we can win this round, let's win it.
That's one of these like TikTok plays. Oh, you gotta love it when it happens.
Put the music behind it.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Don't know what that song's called, but I know what you're talking about. Still though, next round comes up. PaperX not looking to slow down their pace whatsoever. Relay bolts from both sides. But now it's PaperX to go in for the quad peek. Munchkin gone. Ash out of position. Texture off to the other end to try to bail out his teammate. A double kill is not too bad, and that allows for Ash to refill that space. Repeat once again. Suggest down from the top. Mind Freak trying to answer back in a one-on-one. Crouches. A bit of a tap, and Karen's down in the dirt.
Mind freak ही कहते हैं, mind freak.
1v1 going the way of PaperX.
Nice,
this
nice,
time.
nice,
We
nice,
keep
nice.
trading them backwards and forwards. If you remember,
Job
the
lawn
Munchkin
nikatulu.
something duels that we had on the last half as well. I think we've just seen like the trading of both relay bolts, of both special deliveries.
अच्छा trade
ball
करे
lanes,
सब
like,
लोग.
we want this Sands control at the
trade
moment, but unfortunately it's just you know, Gen G wanted a re-1 time. They're not able to win that one.
Zoe.
Yeah, both sides not afraid to go in for that brawl, but currently PaperX have been successful.
Yep.
Just being able to find these trades. With that though, okay, we got an ult coming out from Texture. Trying to go in for the spams, but PaperX are happy to stick themselves together, watching each other's back, shoulder to shoulder. Still though, out from the A main area, Suggest finds a double, PaperX answers back. It's just Ash left with the Sheriff. Damage found though, so it's still not too bad for Gen G. They are still in this fight, but at the end of it all, Komodo, you gotta admit, PaperX, they are close to that map point.
Yeah, 100%, and with being as proficient as they were in the previous couple of rounds, they are going to be all getting their ultimates in towards the next round. Bar one. I mean, if Devi picks up the orb, right, he gets the Armageddon, and then you've just got Mind Freak trailing a little bit. So these can be these really scary rounds. I wouldn't actually be surprised going into this next round, Quack, if we do see some sort of orb maintenance on the side of Gen G, right? Because I've just noted that they have two players that are close to a couple of their ultimates as well, and in this sort of situation, you need something big from Gen G to start to come back on this defensive side.
Do wonder what that could be, though. Ults for sure, but right now, as the rounds play on, it's been PaperX going for that sense control. Gen G tries to.
300 क्या दे?
PaperX still happy to play around south side of the map. So Gen G a little bit more respect now. They are happy to peek all the way out just to check if PaperX are on the other end. Not too much in terms of the information department, and PaperX will find their entryway into the B site.
And to be able to get in here as well with not really needing to use too much of their ults whatsoever until that orbital comes on down, they're going to set themselves up nicely for this post.
Being able to block Gen G off. Oh, a bit of positioning from something as well, but look at that. Oh, he still takes the frag against Texture. Oh, Ash for the trade, so not too bad. And that's going to be the Armageddon, you're right.
क्या मारा रे?
Still need to find the right position, the right timing for it. One Armageddon out, another Armageddon back in from Devi. Mind Freak goes for the peak, Devi finds the frag, Forsaken out for the last one. PaperX to reach map point.
Easy!
Convincingly as well with how they've been playing this one so far. I mean, I think this
खत्म
is
कर
like
दो
one of my
मसला
favorite things to
मसला
see in this
खत्म
game
कर
of
दो
Valorant
नेक्स्ट
so
मैच
far.
में
Stuff
सुकून से बैठ के देखते
doesn't really matter. Something still getting that kill, using his rolling thunder just as he dies as well. But in the grand scheme of things, it does not matter because PaperX still get the round done. They still got it, and they've got 6 map points. They're sitting in a really comfy chair, laying back at the moment. It's padded. It's a good place to be for them.
Definitely shaking off those initial map nerves, and that diligent aim training paying off for something. I mean, he didn't let go of that target, not a bit.
Texture ball, texture
ball. In with the A hit.
Oh yeah, मसला.
The first, Forsaken now into the next overdrive as well, and Gen G look to reclaim, but it's not quite happening, not yet. Oh my word, Steel Garden as well for Mind Freak.
Yeah. Able to actually gather it from the previous round in this round and use it, and
it feels as though everything is over.
Yeah.
Suggest Karen. They could have the neural theft, so trying to take their time with things, keeping themselves together. Neural theft deployed. PaperX still tries to keep them away.
Time
so
ticking.
To play for the time of it. Yes, that's what that utility is for.
GG,
Forces Gen G to reclaim space again, but back up towards tower. That's where PaperX are all playing around. Here comes the utility once more.
GG's, let's go! PRX, PRX, PRX.
The final score on Fracture, 13-6.
GG's, PRX,
looking map for
GG.
PaperX in that one.
फाइनल मैच तुम लोग देखो भाई, तुम्हारा भाई तो गोइंग फाइनल मैच परफॉर्मिंग व्हाट हैपनिंग हो जाएगा. आज पहले एसआरएच का मैच है भाई, सुकून से बैठ के आज 300 की देखता हूँ, फिर शाम को सीएसके का मैच है. स्पिन बॉल स्पिल पैक टुडे. That's it for today guys. Thank you. कल से कैमरा कब चेंज करूँगा? मेरा पीसी देखो भाई, पीसी खुला है. पीसी का ये निकाल के बैठा हुआ हूँ। इतना गर्मी है हैदराबाद में, मेरा पीसी मार खा रहा माँ क्या। चलो गाइस, टेक केयर। PRX easy wins. Love you all. Thank you. अरे नीरज